Well, the basement's undergone a couple of changes. First of all, the latest laser lives back here now. It is kind of in between what I got and where I want to go. It's a 7 color. I think it's 7. RGB laser. So basically it's got 3 primaries and then maybe it's 6 color. Either way, it's 3 primaries and then even mixes of those. So it's not like 16.7 million. It's just basically, you know, a hard 7 color, 6 or 7, whatever it is. Decent pattern arrangement though. It's got a couple of pretty cute patterns that it does. Ultimately I want to go full like multicolor, where we can do fades and things and more patterns, but that jumps up from, you know, low hundreds to high 200 to 300. So that's there. The bar got moved, so the bar lives over here now. It doesn't interfere with the projector or anything. The main reason that got moved is because of this guy. So we got the couch over here from the gym. The bookcase that was on this wall is now over here. And I can still get behind the theater. Sorry about that. I knew it was coming close. So yeah, so that is, still lets me get to the back of the screen if I need to. Looks pretty cute down here. And then the floor got expanded, so we got more tiles for the gym. Well, actually for out here. But funny story, so that goes all the way back there now, and I'm gonna have a few more come. But anyway, so we ordered the new floor and it didn't match. It's the exact same set, but you know, a difference in die lots. So I mean, you can tell they're pretty significantly different. So we ended up putting the new floor in here. I might as well just do the reveal. Ta-da! So we put the new floor in here because I had exactly the right number of the new ones that I ordered for it to fit, including going back, because this stopped about here or so because I didn't see a point where they're going under the couch. But now that the couch isn't in here, I did go wall to wall. So I think, is it exact? Yeah, the one tile fits exactly perfect, which is kind of a shock thinking about it. And the other ones, after the little divot, I had to cut, you know, indent in slightly, cut them a little bit. We also put up the border. So we got our molding border to cover up the kind of slope of the wallpaper and give it more of a clean edge. We ordered 2 because originally I was going to do this side and this side, and not again worry about the back behind the couch. But again, the couch isn't here anymore, so it's going to be the 3 walls, so I had to order a 3rd one. These were back ordered for like a month and a half after I ordered them. Fortunately, the other one came literally late the next day after I placed the order, so they must have just been waiting on a shipment. So that'll go on that wall, and I'll finish off that. As you can see, we flipped the orientation of these guys, so both of them moved further back. This is on this side with the projector to completely clear the path. It's got plenty of room on both sides. It goes behind the elliptical, doesn't scrape the wall anymore. And then we have the elliptical over on this side. It's, you know, again, I can still hit my head on the ceiling, especially if I incline it. Although I kind of sort of fit between the beams. It's tight. Fortunately, the wife's shorter than I am. And, you know, some inclines are fine. It just can't go very extreme. But it works out a lot better. As you can see, there's a lot more room in here now. We don't have to scoot really around the thing like we were before. Power just goes right to the outlet. I don't have to worry about routing on the floor or anything like that. So yeah, this is much better. The fridge is going to go on top of this table. I think it's going to go on top. It should fit. It's just a small like apartment fridge. Mostly just for drinks and things. Primarily like waters and whatever. So this will now be like an actual gym. It looks way better without the couch in here. You can see more of the wall, which is nice. We mounted the fan here to this and routed the power, which worked great until we moved the elliptical. So I guess now it's more my fan or general room fan. We'll have to get either something to clip to the beam, or maybe like a tower fan, more for like her side. I mean, this thing does have a fan in it, but it's pretty pathetic, you know. Although it's got something. So yeah, so this is the new floor. Like I said, it's several shades lighter, as you can probably tell. So then the floor that was in here came all out and was used to fill this in. So it basically goes all the way back. I'm gonna order 2 or 3 more sets so we can actually go up to the rack. I need to clean up this corner again. But yeah, that is the update down here. It's a lot better. I'm liking it. Also, kind of a minor thing. I did kind of set the dehumidifier up where it's going to go now. Power is routed here without the extension cord anymore. And I got the drain tube routing all the way back. It's going to be dark, but it doesn't really matter. Into the hole behind the air conditioner. So it's continuously draining. I don't have to worry about the bucket anymore. Once in a while it gets to like a little bit of a incline or an air bubble and the bucket will fill up as a backup, but it's been doing okay for a few days since I put the floor back down. No issues there. It's nice to have to change it out every once in a while. This is our board game bookcase. Once we go to Florida next month, we'll have the rest of my games up here, so this will be a little more organized. Okay, that's it. Well, I guess we're about due for office update. So we got this LG C1 48-inch sitting over there. It was originally going to be on the desk, but more or less the wife said it was too big and she couldn't see me, so little creative ingenuity, we stuck it over here in front of the window that I never use. And originally I was going to use it, you know, for an HDR monitor and 4K from my old computer. Of course, I should have knew that a Windows 8 computer from 10 years ago doesn't do HDR or anything but 1920 by 1080 out of the HDMI ports that are included. So I ended up just gonna put it over here as like a standalone TV. And then I've been screwing around with video settings to try to speed up that process. I saw a thing that you could try to use one of the other settings in Vegas instead of the Intel video codec I was using. It was basically a Cineform. Yes, it was faster, but at least with the settings I used, it was like way huge, like way bigger than I want to upload to YouTube, like was 70 gig or something stupid. And then I thought, well, I'm not really doing any editing, I'm just combining clips. So I just got a simple MP4 joiner. It seems to work pretty well. It goes relatively quickly. It actually maintains the quality better because it's not doing a re-encode. And it's bigger than the compressed Intel files, at least I think it was. But not in a super substantial way. It's going to go over that in more detail, because I actually rendered the same video the 3 or 4 different ways. I was going to directly compare them, but I never got to it, and it's kind of really not that important at this point. And then as that shoots up, Amazon was having a deal, and they had a new computer. So I got a new computer. It's a Intel Core i7-11700 with an RTX 3060. When I first saw it, it was like $11.99, and then I didn't get it, and that was through Amazon. And then it kept going up and up, and it was through other sellers. So I was like, well, I guess I missed the boat on that. And then it finally came back around. I don't know why it's spinning up. It's not doing anything. And it went down to $10.99 back through Amazon. So I hadn't got it. It's an Asus GL10, I believe. For the most part, it seems fine. It has a very clean aesthetic. Not a lot going on the inside. The front panel USB wasn't connected. I had to go ahead and connect that, but that was an easy fix. It's on the loud side. Again, considering it's not even really doing anything. You know, when the fan spins down to 0, it's fine, but when it actually spins up, it gets pretty damn loud, and I'm not really sure why. Maybe I'll swap out for some fans at some point down the road. I don't know. I'm not really sure where I'm putting it. Also, the Cinebench, yeah, I mean, it's like 3 times faster. Probably, I mean, you know, numerically. My other one was like in the 400s. This one's coming in at like 15 and change. The specs for the processor, for what I saw online, I should be doing like 2400 in Cinebench. So I don't really know what's going on with that. It doesn't really seem to be kicking up to the higher clock speeds like I would expect it to. But I've only had it less than a day, so who knows. I'm going to do a render here in a minute. Kind of see what the real world performance benefit is as is. And go from there. Honestly, it's probably a somewhat unneeded expenditure. You know, considering my main games are Warcraft, when I even play that, and Hearthstone. I don't do that much video editing. But I thought, you know, it was a good deal. I haven't bought a computer in over 10 years. This is a 10-year-old Dell XPS 127-inch. So the monitor and the computer is all kind of one thing. So now, of course, I have to get a new monitor as well, which I've already ordered. I got an Asus TUF 32-inch 1440p. Supports HDR. It'll be a good, nice desk stand-in. And then I haven't even connected this to the TV yet. In theory, I should be able to do 4K HDR right from that. It's running Windows 11, which I haven't really had any experience with. I'm still using 8. Never bothered going to 10. I didn't really like it when I saw it. Just a little office update. Giving myself some photos to work with for the video test here. See how much faster this new thing actually works. See you in a bit. Well, since it's here, I might as well go into it. So we got 3 versions of the gym file here. There is the Intel, I think it's QSV. That runs 4.2 gig for a basically 24-minute clip. So that's the one that takes like hours and hours to render, and it's compressed, so there's some artifacts, obviously, when it goes on YouTube, although for the most part it's fine. It just kind of shifts some of the colors. Then there is this guy, which is just the raw MPEGs from the GoPro combined together into a single clip. That's running 16.8 gig. I'm not sure why it's saying it's 95 hours, because it's the exact same length. Pretty sure. Yeah, it's 23, so it's confused with probably the metadata. But that's going to be the exact same quality as unedited raw GoPro footage, but it's 17 gig, almost 18, so it's you know, almost 4 times bigger, a little bit more than 4 times bigger, which is of course going to take a lot longer to upload and process, but at least on the old computer is a lot faster to deal with. Still not super quick, but way quicker than going into Vegas and all that. And then the other one is this QuickTime guy. Basically, it's like an Apple ProRes. I forget what the actual thing was. It's not ProRes, but it's compatible. And that runs 70 gig for the same, 24-minute video. Now, yeah, it still took less time. Maybe, I don't even know, quarter to half. But still wasn't super fast. But there's no way I'm uploading that to YouTube just for a bump in quality. Now, I could try lowering the sample rate or the bit rate, because it shouldn't really affect it much anyway, considering the incoming bit rate. But we'll play, we use our existing settings that we were on the old computer on the new one. I think the quality was sufficient, at least for this kind of stuff. And I don't know how much I'm going to bother about changing it, again, considering we're like 29 parts in already. But that was a little bit of workflow editing I was considering. Just kind of seeing where my options lie. Just joining them. It's a little messy, but it's the least time intensive on the computer. Again, at least as far as the old one goes. And the file size is still manageable. Compressing it down is probably going to be the better option to go, assuming it's a more reasonable time frame on the new computer, which it should be. It's 10 years newer, several generations. So I'm going to do a sample one here in a minute, see how that lands. And the ProRes thing probably is not going to be the way I go. At least not for anything like this. Something I care truly about, like a vacation video or something, maybe down the road, but not for this kind of stuff. Alright, quick little technology update before I head off to work. So, I've had a chance to render some video on the new computer, and I got some results for that. So, issue with the just simple joining of the MP4s together. You know how I said the length was kind of being a little weird? Well, it comes to bite me because YouTube says the video is too long in the process using just the simple join method. So I could probably fix that by remixing it through like MKV tool or something. But it's an extra step. I haven't even messed with the MKV toolkit in a bit, so I'd have to reinstall it and all that. So more than likely we'll just stick with business as usual and keep rendering the video out to some sort of format. The new computer is definitely faster than the old one. It's about 2.5 times faster. So on my laser video, which should already be up, the old PC took 3 hours and 14 minutes to render that into the Intel QSV file. And it was about a 12-minute video or so. New PC does it about 3 times faster, about 1 hour and 5 minutes, which more or less matches what Cinebench has been saying. Cinebench R15, the old computer, hits about 564. The new one hits about 1481 pretty consistently, so that's, about 3 times faster. On Cinebench R23, the old computer hits at 2826, and the new one hits 9193. So a little bit more than 3 times faster, probably using some newer technologies and such. That can probably be even faster, because the 2.5 gigahertz base CPU, it's only hitting sustained all-core turbo to about 2.7 or 2.8 under a sustained load like the video render. And it doesn't seem to be using the GPU much at all to accelerate. Now maybe if I try like a NVENC encoder or something, that might be using the GPU more. but I don't know how the quality would compare. Yeah, it's fine for video games and stuff, but I don't know, something to experiment with, I guess. Sidestep into the server for a minute. 3 of the 4 hard drives, so I am keeping all 4 20 terabytes. 3 of the 4 of those are in. I'm going to do the other one a little bit later, probably once I get the desk set up and everything's where it's going to go. I don't really want to have the ability of not unplugging anything for 3 or 4 days. Although I could probably do that and still get it done before the new monitor shows up, but I'm not really in a rush. Currently the server's sitting at 83.6 terabytes with 18.5 terabytes free. So, you know, it's not like I'm hurting for space at the moment. And I still have some stuff to clean up that, you know, could shift that around a bit. So yeah, other than the computer being 3 times faster, I'm pretty happy with it. Got a couple of things to sort out. Seems to be a bug where it won't really wake up from a power save without either a driver reinstall for the Nvidia GPU or like redetecting it. Seems like a reboot doesn't even fix it. Goes into like this extreme power saving state and the computer pretends like it doesn't even exist. I lose the audio output and everything because I'm just right now got the single HDMI connected. Speaking of HDMI, the onboard video doesn't seem to be working. It's an 11700. It's not a K or anything, so I can't really do any overclocking or anything. Just with whatever the base chip, you know, power steps are. But yeah, the Intel graphics just are not showing up anywhere. I tried installing the driver. It says no compatible hardware, available. The 11700 should have onboard graphics, everything online and everything in the computer documentation. Excuse me, says that it should, but for whatever reason it doesn't seem to be working. There's nowhere to enable it on the motherboard that I saw in the BIOS. So that HDMI port doesn't really do me any good. The GPU itself only has one HDMI, the other 3 are display ports. Now the new monitor I should be able to connect up via DisplayPort, which is the first time I'd be using that. And then I could use HDMI out, probably to the TV. But I don't really have any way of hooking up my AV receiver to the computer via HDMI. I'm either going to have to go DisplayPort adapter, or maybe do like a eARC through the TV. But there are going to be times where I'm going to want audio without necessarily having the TV on. So maybe I'll hook up just stereo, you know, 1/8 inch line out, just for music and stuff. It would have been nicer to do it via HDMI though. Fortunately, DisplayPort adapters are pretty cheap. So I'll probably end up doing that, just to use more of the onboard outports on the outputs on the display. So I just woke up, sorry. The DisplayPort outputs on the graphics card. The main fan noise seems to be the rear case fan. So of all the fans, that'd be the easiest one to swap out. So maybe get like a nice Noctua or something someday. GPU even at 100% isn't really all that loud. I can't even really hear it. Little disappointed that the GPU doesn't seem to have a 0 fan mode. It only goes as low as 30%. Power supply also does not seem to have a 0 fan mode. I'm not even entirely sure which one it is. I don't see any markings on it. Gamers Nexus had a similar Asus computer. The Ryzen edition had a Great Wall power supply. So it's more than likely that. So yeah, the case fan would be the easiest one to swap out, especially if that's the one making the majority of the noise, especially the ramping noise. CPU cooler obviously isn't great. That is probably another one that would benefit from a swap out. It's hitting about 80C pretty regularly under load, which is probably why it's only boosting to like 2.7, 2.8. I mean, it hits 4.9 all the time for short bursts or just idling. And that really kicks the fan up, obviously. But yeah, anything sustained, or at least I haven't really gamed on it yet, outside of, again, Hearthstone or whatever, which, let's be real, isn't really a game. But Vegas, at least, is not kicking it up, and it's pretty quiet under 2.8. The fan's definitely keeping it, under control without ramping up super hot. But if I can get the chip cooler, more than likely that would allow it to boost higher and give me more performance. Swapping out the cooler is something I've never really done. It's obviously not a great cooler. It's probably some sort of stock Intel thing. So that may be something down the road. A little more performance. Something that maybe looks a little bit cooler. Memory usage is usually about 30% so far. I might get another kit of 16 gig just to bump it up to 32, just because why not? I got the 2 slots, might as well use them. But not in a rush. I did a PC part picker, and the components are definitely more expensive than what I paid for this thing. I was running about $1,200 or so. Versus the $10.99 I paid for this, and that's not even factoring the cost of Windows or some of the other random components. I had to guess on some of the things like the case and power supplies and things like that. Just kind of went with what was one of the cheaper options while still maintaining the same specs. Like I went for a 4-channel, 4-slot memory motherboard versus some of the 2s that they had. Things like that. So, there's definitely compromises when you go with a pre-built. It would be nice to have an unlocked K processor. Be nice if the GPU lit up, which so far it doesn't seem like it does. I haven't found any way of enabling or toggling that. And I don't really have a lot of the control that I would like over some things, but I didn't really want to go build a PC for the first time. And like I said, that would have been more money anyway. At least this is covered under a single point of warranty. So there were some advantages, but there are definitely some things that are lacking doing it this way. Maybe next time. So it should basically bring everybody up to speed. So it's definitely faster, which, I mean, it should be. It's 10 years newer. I guess, honestly, I was expecting it to be a little bit faster, but, it's not like 3 times anything to scoff at either, and we're only talking 10 years. It's not like we're going from completely, older tech. Chip advancements have definitely slowed down a lot over the last little bit. And it's an 11th gen, so it's actually a little older than some of the newer stuff, because we have 10th or 12th gen now. Still 14 nanometer. Could have went Ryzen, but I'm more comfortable with the Intel platform, and it was like $500 cheaper than the Ryzen version of this build. So yeah, it is what it is. I'm pretty happy with it. It would definitely help with the rendering. 3 times faster, especially like I said, some of them were taking 8, 9, 10 hours. Some on some of the longer videos. So it'd be nice to get that down to like 3. But yeah, that'll probably do it for this. I may or may not tack on the video showing off the new laser. You guys saw it mounted, but I haven't really shown you what it does yet. So I'll probably do that, and then get this one ready for upload. Alright, I gotta get ready for work. Thanks for watching. I know this is kind of a boring static one, but gives you some of the tech details that I wanted to share. And I'll see you later. Alright, well, as promised, to finish off this last video, we're going to go ahead and show the newest laser in action. Again, you saw it in a video a couple videos ago, that I said I installed it, but I didn't actually get to show you what it does. I'll do it again with music reactive and everything at a future date, but for right now, at least you can see what it does on auto. So it is a 6-color laser. Color 7 is all 6 colors active. So most of the patterns are multicolor in some way or other. So of all the lasers I have so far, this one has the most patterns, has the most colors. I assume, actually I don't know, I guess with DMX control I'd be able to have different shapes be different colors and kind of switch between them, versus having them just kind of be the same set of multicolor. Not real sure. But again, and this is what you get when you get a $110, $120 laser versus like a $300 laser. But I'm pretty happy with this guy. I mean, again, it's not like I'm really doing a rave down here. It's just for my own kind of personal kicks. Someday I'll get a higher end one. The next ones I'm looking at are like in the 300 range, high 2s. But this is sufficient for now. This guy's got a really good scan distance. It's got a good variety of pattern. It's got good motion within the patterns. It's got pretty good fluidity. Yeah, I like him. And between the other lasers, you know, I have pretty good coverage in here now. Basically everything has something on it. Outside of that wall over there, I mean, I guess the red one's kind of over that one. So essentially there's 2 lasers that I'm looking at. One is just kind of a generic pattern kind of guy like this one, but it's got a lot more patterns. It claims 1900, and I think it's got more color control. It's hard to tell from a review online, of course, but you know, it does like your liquid skies and your tunnels and things like that. This guy's fast. So that one I would probably point either in the back here above the screen to kind of give my ceiling, you know, kind of the effects that I'm looking for, or I might point it at the wall to the right over here just to give that some stuff when they're all on. And then the other one that I'm looking at is specifically a animation laser. So it's got an SD card and it actually does like full-on laser animations. So less, I mean, it's still got your generic patterns and does music reactive and stuff like that too, but it also is set up for like cartoon characters and things like that. That one I'll definitely put in the back and project kind of mostly at the screen, kind of like this one is, but more screen focus, where this one's kind of hitting screen and floor, and depending on the pattern ceiling. So those are 2 on my list. I think before I do that, my next purchase, it needs to be a hazer. Looking at the reviews of the higher priced one, apparently that company's Pro line is really good. Their consumer line, not so much. Lots of people said there were leaks or reliability issues. The cheaper one, the reviews were kind of anywhere from the same to better, and it's a lot less money. At least, again, as far as their consumer line. So I'll probably end up getting that one this way, you know, because that one's only like 140 versus like, there might even be a little less, versus like 230 for the other one. So a little more willing to take a chance on it, I guess. So that'll probably be the next thing. and then I'll probably get one of the two. Please. Sorry about that, I didn't want to sneeze on you. One of the two lasers that I'm looking at. The 1900 pattern one actually has already gone out of stock once on me and is now back. But I also want to get a few more pattern or tiles for the floor. So basically, the one that I have is from several shipments ago, and they have a few packs of that die lot left that they're holding for me. So I want to go ahead and get those before they're completely gone, so I can expand the floor that's over by the laundry room now all the way back to the stereo amp rack. The second die lot that they sent me that's in the gym, that lot's already gone. That was the last of that lot, and they had a new shipment come in that I haven't seen yet. So I don't even know what that lot looks like, if it's closer to the old one, the new one, somewhere in between. So I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to get a few, and I have them on hold. They're also going to send me 2 extra packs. They're packs of 4, because this set was in the gym, and it's got some pretty deep impressions from the equipment and furniture and stuff. Some of them have bounced back. Some of them are still pretty deep. So because I had to move them because they didn't have enough, you know, the new ones I ordered didn't match, and I already had some in that area. They're going to send me 2 packs to kind of replace the dented ones. So I'll probably order 3, and I'll end up receiving 5, and that should be all the flooring I need. My last set of rewards posted from like the TV and some of the lasers and stuff. So I got about 100 in Amazon rewards currently. The complex still owes us our $50 move-in gift card for the lease renewal. I gotta really bug them. They said somewhere in late August. Well, it's late August. I want my damn gift card. So that will cover the floor, unless I decide to throw it towards a fogger. But I should really get the floor. As it is, you know, I bought the computer, I bought the new monitor. I haven't told myself no nearly enough. I've been mostly saying yes to these kinds of things. So, we'll see. Gotta slow down somewhere. And I think that's enough for this guy. Like I said, he's one of the cooler ones. Super quiet. Does very different patterns compared to the other ones that I have installed. So they all kind of do different stuff. You know, I like the 5 head one with the 5 colors because they're all very rich colors, being single laser. There's no alignment issues. This one you can see when it's doing some of the patterns. Some of the colors are a little off because it's a 3-color laser that they then will mix to get the other 3 colors. And sometimes the alignment's off. So that one's nice and sharp because they're all individual color lasers. And I like that they track together. So that's kind of a cool effect, but it's pretty limited in its patterns. It's pretty slow. And it's noisy. The one in the front, I like its patterns, and it's got good motion. I like that they're twins. So it's got a blue and a red that are mirrored. But the red I don't see that well. And its variety of patterns isn't great. It's okay. And then isn't there another laser? Maybe not. The one in the back is my favorite of at least the 3. That one's got beam. Yeah, I guess the other ones are just beam projectors. You know, LED patterns. So yeah, actual like full-on quote-unquote real lasers, I have the 3. The one on the front, the 5 head, and this one on the back. Not a bad little collection. That'll call it for this one. I assume it's going to be pretty long between the computer updates and all this stuff, so we'll see how quickly the new computer can run through it. And then probably the next video after that, I am off on Tuesday where the wife is working, so that'll probably be the first video that I can do all the lights with some music, and I'll probably do that as a standalone so I can try a couple different encoders with something that's not stupid long and see if we can get the performance up without losing any quality. Alright, catch you in the next one. Hopefully you look forward to it, and I'll see you again later. Thanks.